Hello and good day. Greetings, all yay, salutations, peace and love. What go on? Babylon. I think if I've done it right, I should be live on Indie and I should be live on Facebook. I am now casting what is previously listed as the Artful Dodgers Remedy Club. This has now been abbreviated to Splspro and the introduction of a.r.c. and Artful Remedy Club. So I noticed the abbreviation of the Artful Dodgers Remedy Club as TADRC, TAD RC. I didn't like that, so I just removed the, and left Artful Remedy Club. And I am coming on across on two platforms just because I'd like to take simultaneous. I'd like to give to YouTube what Facebook is saying. I'd like to give to Facebook what YouTube is saying. I'm looking for international questions. There is no legal advice here today. I am certain of that. I've just come along for an hour basically to say hello. Facebook, I'd like to say to you, if you've got any updates, feedback, questions, anything like that, I'd like to hear from you. YouTube, the same standard and format applies. I've got the chat coming, opening up on here so I can see the chat room. I'm going to say hello to Brother Fly, who's over here. We've got 6 on Tube, and I'll just locate the feed on the Book of Faces now. So again, it's the 17th of October. Good day, good rising. I, man David, I'm here for an hour, and I'd like to say that we have an hour to take. You give me questions, comments, update, your concerns, requirements, any issues that you have. We're looking at community trusts and social support in general. We have some publications we're releasing. If any of you've got any feedback on the officer agent interaction, further requirements for your community, family, health and wealth, then let me know. I've answered all emails, and you've all got an inbox from me as I promised. I gave you my word, and they're all up to date for the David at Splspro, my primary contact, and I've also been into contact at Splspro and my hydrogen doctor. So everybody should have had a nudge. Alan, I've got back to you. The man Alan that's been looking to speak to me. You've had an email back. Sister Molly, Sister Debbie, I've resolved everything there. So we're all good to go. I've done 6 of these so far just on YouTube. I haven't come across over on Facebook, so we're doing a simultaneous 2-platform cast. I just got to remember where we are. Ian is on the Book of, and Paul, thank you for the link there. I will look at that later. If you've got anything relevant there for me link wise, then please let me know. You can contact me directly for private dialogue, conversation, information and so forth. You can go direct to the .com, and then you've got the option of the Book of Faces, which is I use this the Facebook area for updates, and it's not a primary contact of mine anymore. I've since fell out with the domain. Where am I? I cannot see myself. Thank you for all my posts on the profile there on Facebook. I've got to catch up with that. I'm going to look at the .com after we've done these casts. So this is an hour for you. I give you an hour, and you give me your updates, your issues, your concerns, how you see things, anything you would like furthermore to see next year. Just let me load. Aha, I've got it. I'm just going to share the feed here. This is open to anybody. It's open to all the fam, even though if you've never heard of Splspro, trust, equity, myself, anything like that, we are going through somewhat of a massive expansion at the minute. We've had some successful annual meetings, seminars, Bradford and Birmingham, and like I say, we are fixed for 2020 vision, and we've got a lot to bring, up to the table. And I'm going to go over now. I'm in the feeds. I've got everything I need. Start a watch party. What's happened here? Why, it's all changed. Download. Hello to Margaret. I'll be general with the names. So, I'm not a military man here, but I will not, breach any policy data, etc. Thank you, Margaret, for that. I'm seeing your comment. Email David at splspro.com, and that will get to me, and you say hello that way, Margaret, and we'll take it from there. I see an Agenda 21's been put up on thank you, Brother Paul. We'll leave it at that. Okay, if you don't want to be included in these casts, then don't type anything, just sit and watch. Otherwise, I'll just say thank you, hello, and we are bridging two realms, much like the fiction and the equity, trust, etc. Reality meeting the fictional, two sides, two worlds colliding. So thumbs up, fam. Thank you, Fly. To Kat, Quinn, Alan. Check your email, Alan. I hope you'll have a smile on your face. All right, brother. Yes, I. Hi, Eric. Blessings, Rainbow. And hearts and fists, thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. So yeah, this is a new format, all right. It's a bit like what you've seen previously, on the chat shows, on your daytime shows. But I'd like to really get to the guts of it. I've been to the cities. I've seen the deprived areas, the postcodes, the black bags, the stray animals, the homeless, the tents, the degradation, the segregation, and it really is, volatile in some places out there, lower postcode areas of cities that I've seen. So I've brought you quite a lot. I'd like to do a temperature test and see how you are, what your concerns are, what the threats are upon your family. If you are feeling, happy, looked after, do you have trust? Do you have full trust in the future and what's happening, the stability? Do you think we'll end up being a vassal state, nation, sovereignty, independence, credit, debt, national debt, people? Wow, yes, it's never been so exciting. We have a front bench that's like a interchangeable cartridge system. So I want to hear from you, your concerns, communities. I have some time on my hands. I am caught up with emails. I've just done a 105-page documentary on a layman and self-initiate's guide to trust, equity, principles, types of trust, relationships, the three certainties, even going so far as to give you case law to prove that to equity and the governance of and the management with the trust, if you are in an equitable realm and you was to be dealing with some kind of controversy, dispute within a trust, and the three certainties, I remember them as OIC, the certainty of object, the certainty of intent, and the certainty of the subject matter. So O is object. I do it a little bit differently, me. So OIC, certainty of objects, that would be who the beneficiaries are and so forth. The certainty of intent, O is object, beneficiaries, I intent. There must be seen to be a trust wanting to be set up there. There must be evidential intent of a trust wanting to be either expressed, implied, instructed, written, many and various verbal and also written. Controversies, misalignments do happen with verbal sometime, and then you've got the beneficiaries sorted out, you've got whether or not there's a trust sorted out. Now you need the property. That would be the subject matter. The certainty of that would be what is in the trust, what is the property, what are the assets, what are the finances and stuff like that. So you've got revocable, irrevocable. You've got last will and testament, a testator instead of a settlor. So this has gone into 105 pages. I'm currently holding some hands of a king and a queen that are, I'll be careful with the data, wanting to do this and put some property into. So very excited, with what we've got under our belt for 2 years, and I've brought to you case law from high courts that are, equitable areas of which judges, masters, lords have, many of them going back to the 1800s, pointing out with the case law years references, in some instances there was no actual trust in effect, or there was, and also secret trusts, half secret trusts, so I've brought out, I'm at the confidential area, confidence for myself to be able to sit here on my own after doing this, and brings you some information of which may be beneficial to us all, or it may not. That is for you to decide. And the a.r.c has just been opened, so I'm sorry for the way it is, and I have my own methodology here. I'm not trying to proclaim anything, I'm not trying to spread fear. It was the Artful Dodgers Remedy Club, so it would have been a.r.c, and I didn't like that, and I thought if I remove the Dodger and put the Artful Remedy Club, we end up with a.r.c. In light of what we're doing and how we are, I just thought I'd let you know. I've renamed it to this, and I'm going to look for news now. I've finished. Babble over. Yes, Quinn, Alan, Eric, bonjour, easy brother. There is no trust, and it feels like we're being sold out by the rich few. Thank you for that comment. Molly, you've seen my reply. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of honour. I'm sorry, there isn't a lot of time, and we need to be, prioritising. There's one of me and there's many of you. So thank you for that. How are we doing on the book of? I've got you here. Let's go and say hello. I'll just do first names only, and we got 3. It says, but there's Johnny, Margaret, Kathy, Ian, Paul. I've said those. So Margaret, you are, and you've done it on the forum. All right, I'll look out on the forum. Thank you, my sister. I'll do that later. I'll give you my word. Leonie, hello from South Africa. So we say, how's it? Is it to you, Leonie? This is to Facebook. It's been a while. Yes, it has. We're catching up. How are you, South Africa? What's going on? Africa, wow, colonisation by the Asian Pacific there, the continents of, for the rich minerals relating to political, territorial warfare with regards to the minerals and, batteries and electric cars. Sister Leonie, I'd like you to email and get in touch and keep in touch. We are looking over there right now. Hello to Sue, Sister Sandra, and Brother Alexander. Where are you? What continents are you on? How are you feeling? We have remedy, trust, equity, principles of to bring to you end of this year, late, this year, early next. We have your key competence grading. That is a standalone format that will be given, emailed, sent out, put on a DVD, whatever it takes. It is on the .com as an interactive quiz that we have. Well, not quiz, it's called a key competence grading tool, formally a test and a quiz. This is your officer agent interaction. They are both on the Facebook files in the group there for free, and they are also on the .com files there for the download in the resource library. 101 key competence, and I'd like to bring you up to speed and get you shoulder to shoulder with us. So who has a question? Where are you? And how are you is the initial question. The People's Republic of Yorkshire says super. I'm loving that flow. Yes, the Republic of. You remember though what people are, all right, and we've taught you how we choose every word. Think of Smithy and how, if he was here, what he would say about that instantly. This is what we're here for, not to criticise, but just to let you know, to give you a bounce back. So to super, we would say peoples, man's, souls, sentient. Change that. That's your cognitive. So Republic of. Here we go. We've got I'm here underneath. Peoples equals body politique. We're echoing synchronicity. Fist bumps to I. Schooling is fooling. What we got? No school should be educating kids about sex under the age of 14. Yes, the sex is creeping in there, brother Al. I've seen that in the Rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson's bringing it in. Female interaction and twisting it up. Disney Club kisses at whatever. Yes, we agree. Much like the officers coming into the academy, indoctrination camp, trust, school. We're at ease here, soldiers. All right, so just remember that. Um, it's not good having officers promoting policy, going into the academy for the sons and daughters to stand there in their black uniform with their badges and sprays and everything, saying drugs are bad, don't do drugs, blah blah blah. I was about telling them about the person, the fiction, joinder, etc. Not going into the academy talking about Charlie and our kid coming home saying that Charlie's a girl in my class, and it turns out it's a nickname for cocaine. I'm like, wow, okay, so you know about cocaine, do you, Yanka? Who's told you this? Oh, the police have been in today at school. Okay then. She says they scare me. I said, do they really? She's quite a shy, loving, non-confident young lady. Is our Yanka, young princess, and she wouldn't harm a fly. She's very loving and shy in some ways, and in public, And when she saw the officers, she said to me she felt scared. I says, why did you feel scared, my love? I says, they're there to help you. They're there telling you what they're doing in the job. And, she says they just didn't look very nice and they spoke funny and they were all dark and very big and we were sat on the floor. I went, towering, dark, towery, authoritative figures over you, was it? She said, yes. I went, well, so Alan, I hear what you're saying, bruv. We'd do it a different way. We'd be, if it was all acting to do with the covenants, we wouldn't need this, would we? But unfortunately, we don't respect and we don't self-govern, and so we need the governance, or some of us do. Respect for that. Vendetta. Missed a lot out on these, so busy with my own stuff, trying to fit it all in. Thank you, Vendetta. Noted. We are all balancing on the tightrope at the minute between, things. So I'll post the Queen's Corporation. Thank you, John. Lux is out of milk. Nearest shop is 1.7 miles away. Not had a brew since. Yeah, we got an emergency. We've got a self-initiate emergency. Wow. Vendetta. When there's no one in Wolves doing this stuff, it feels it's up to me. Respect, Vendetta. Much love. Ethereal fist bumps going out. Obviously, I'm in the chat room of the Tube. I'm coming over to Facebook now, so write me your comments, please. Almond Milk says I for Lux. All right, over to the Book of Faces. What are you saying? That's updates from Tube. I want to know where you are and if you've got a concern, a legal claim, a quandary, anything like that. Have you got an update for me? Like Sister Margaret has given me. Leonie's in Africa. Africa. It began in Africa. Yes, Leonie. Paul, you need International Criminal Court on war crimes. Zetsung precedents. Such is the extent, extremely, and fantasism of those involved in. All right, brother, noted. Thank you, Paul. McGowan. I noticed McGowan from Brother Pete of the McGowan clan. I used to speak to last year. Canada's online in Facebook. That's I'll just say Matt. Nice one. We've got Bulgaria from Alexander in Facebook. Oh yes, thank you. On the .com we have a Romanian document that you may want to look at, Romanian speaking fam, and we are looking for translators. If you can help me by translating any of my our publications and works and studies, they are yours for free, and we will give them away. Everything we've done up to press, up until the 105-page document, they're all yours. If you would like me to speak in your continent, slowly and methodically, bring my documents, I say mine, ours, I'm responsible, trustee of them. The .com is the trust itself there. All right, so I'd like to speak, I'd like to be interviewed, I'd like to give you information, not because I think I'm interviewee, status, but I've got stuff that you might need across the realm, and we could correlate this, and I have time. And furthermore, we have a trust set up here. All right, there's no paperwork, there's no court. So with the three certainties that I've explained to you there, I am certain that you and I are holding some kind of kirk, church, sermon, ministry, etc. right now, and I am giving you, providing. So I am the one that set it up. I have the cast, I have the channels and the group. So I am responsible. I have ownership, if you like, on the boat scene, Admiralty. Yes, I am the king position there, and I am also giving you information, my time, information, documents, and we are, bridging worlds here: fiction, reality, diction, and equity, and then Facebook, YouTube. So the trust scenario is I have the rights and I've set it up, so I am set law. You are benefiting by, the cast in itself, the information. Here we go. So you're the beneficiaries, and then I am also the trustee because I have to, be responsible with how I speak and give and how we proceed. So there's a trust there. I am certain of the three certainties. I intend, to set up a relationship, information passing of benefit you. You are definitely benefiting. The property is the intellectual information, which is non-tangible. So it's a trust with non-tangible property. And it's a basic one. All right, it's private, it's express because I've done it verbally. There's no paperwork. It's private for me, but I've shared it publicly. So it's a weird one because it can't be private and public, can it? So obviously it's set up by me for the use of the public, because we have a public Facebook fam and we have a private .com and we have a YouTube fam. YouTube is public, Facebook is public, this cast is public, so it goes out on the public. So there you go. And and you are benefiting. There is no deception. Everything is disclosed and it stands. Bosh. It could be an agreement. It's definitely not a contract. Right, so Carol as Nonna. Hello. I've just got that little message. All right, so we've got good mineral advice going up on the tube. Where are you located geographically? We've got Canada, Bulgaria, Africa, UK. What are your concerns, Canada, Bulgaria, South Africa? How are your governments? How are your policy? How are your officers? How are your state troopers? How are your amenities, trustees, etc.? Are you happy? Are you safe? Are your rates and banking and everything performing well? Is there any areas of concern? Any information that you may need? How are you finding trust technology? Private and public. We've been on about 22 minutes, so we'll have another half hour or so. Welcome to the a.r.c, the Artful Remedies Club. Artful Remedy Club, provided by me, David, and Splspro.com. Thank you, John, for that. I've got a question from Vendetta. Here we go. Can you use signatures instead of notary? You can use signatures instead of notary, can't you? Well, stop there. When you mean that, do you mean you can use three good men and instead of a notary? When you say notary, do you mean notary public or public notary? There are different ones, aren't there? And do you mean that you can use witness signatures of three good men instead of a notary? I'll continue on. Or is it the best bulletproof method to get it notarized? Just seen a van hire called Admiral. Had to laugh, van driving in the sea. I like that, brother. Noted. Admiral. Admiral Insurance. Admiral. Yes, well said. So, in my opinion, I've got a church going right now, a trust going right now. I have a witness in the great almighty creator, the consciousness, the ethereal network we're on. You will find later, if you don't already know, everything is connected. So the courts and where we are, they're witnesses. The Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, are there. You've three good men. Look at the ratification of faiths and so forth and acts. Look at the spiritual realm you're in. Look at the witnesses that you have. I swear, when you swear, look at what you do when you do a testimony and testification. you make and you swear. Look at the words you say, who you say them to. Look at the holy matrimony when you go to the place where they join. The fictions, the Mr. and Mrs. get joined, not man. All right, so you go to a church, these places there, and look at the words and the verbiage and what they swear and do and what witnesses and how they do that. When you cross yourself with the cross, if you was to, or you have seen that, look at that and look at who's used and what words, and yourself. So law, legal, different requirements, you need to be aware of that. And as I've said, so do some more research. And in law, three good men and witnesses and bringing in the above spiritual realm would cut it. If you want to go legal and go hardcore and irrefutable, as long as you know what you're doing and you're playing it safe, then you can get a notarization from the high street, and that will suffice for the witnessing of signatures to a fixed documentation. So they're not witnessing the document, they're witnessing the evidential facts of the witness and who's present at the time, and authorising that way round. So good question, and there's not actually a set answer, but you should, with your knowledge over time, be able to work this out when you separate legal and law, oil and water, and what's what. By David, thumbprint, boom, that's telling you something there, okay? Whom is there, and then if you witness that to the effect of, your paperwork will precede you irrefutable, and there's a set way for that. I hope that helps, all right? So it's not very definitive, but it is in a way. You need to know, I can't really tell you, you need to, work that. There you go, IME is putting that out. Public notary and notary public are separate entities. Something very key there, much like the three certainties and bits and bobs, you need to, have certain bits cemented in. Would it not be treated the same as getting someone to witness your passport? Similar, yeah, witnesses are witnesses. A witness is a witness. Can I get a witness? All right, back to the book of faces. Johnny, hello. Who else we got down here? Links, give me links, anything you think I need to know or would be good to know. Criminal court, that would be the Hague, Paul, International Criminal Court. We know all about that. I've said hello to Africa, Canada, Bulgaria, Anglo landmass, Langston. Do we need to claim the name or register the name? Well, what does register do? Register is to give. Register, when you register anything to a system, you are giving it, and titles and things are changing in that relationship. As long as you're knowledgeable and knowing and all is disclosed, there's not a problem. If you're not knowledgeable and knowing and nothing is disclosed and you register, then we have a massive problem. You have submitted your rights, whether you like it or not. That's what you've done through your ignorance. So do we need to claim the name? Yes, we do need to claim the name, because with a court, with a civil participation venue, which is essentially a church, a kirk, a vessel in a dry dock, an extension of the occupation of London town by London City Crown, and extending it through the boroughs, counties, cities to these lower and magistrates county courts there. So when you go there, they have somewhat of a venue jurisdiction. They have claimed the body, as we've seen it, the body corporate and whatnot, through the Papal See's proclamation. So your body, it seems, has been seen to be claimed. My body and your body has not been claimed. They're ours. It's an assumption, and you can rebut it, and you can contest it, and you can reclaim it, brother. So yes, you do need to claim the name, but when I say that, you need to claim it from the unum sanctum and the papacy's proclamations of the Catholicism over the centuries, and the continuum of which, and the registration and the certification and your status, standing and capacity. Like when you go to a court, it will be probate, estates, blah blah blah, intestacy. All right, intestacy, I say it differently to everyone else because I'm dyslexic, but you know what I mean. Prosecution, in sui juri, pro pria persona, pro again pria persona. So keeping to the thread, the proclamations are from the Catholicism through the papal sees, and the assumptions and presumptions of the court you would need to rebut using an affidavit, statement of truth, plain verified statement, facts, and you would rebut the claiming of the body, us, because they've already got that presumed. It's their venue, they've already got that. So what they're asking you to do is now join with the name they've got all three jurisdictions: body, venue and name. It goes like personal, property and others, though not just, I'll keep it simple for now. So yes, if you don't claim it, somebody else will. It has been claimed. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it stands. It's a doctrine, all right. It's a policy, a doctrine, much like the clean hands doctrine, the doctrine of notices. There's many doctrines here: religious, financial, institutional doctrines. And I'm no doctor, all right. Dr. Fox, where are you? What the fox say, I'll leave it at that. It's a good question, and thank you. It's not my rules, it's not my doing. Under the common law system from Whitehall, Westminster, the assumed and presumed, you have assumptions that are out of Westminster that are mandated by default to your legal person under the assumptions and presumptions. So assumed consent, and that is all very well and good when it's a positive one. I assume that you consent to us being on this video and passively learning through our interaction. This is the trust. You trust what you get will be validated, honest as I can get it to my knowledge. You are all required to use your due diligence and check everything, because I'm a crazy horse. I speak fast. I have a lot of a flow. I do it from my brain. I'm training myself, and errors and mistakes are made. You are urged to check everything. Do not believe me ever. Check it out for yourself. Never ever believe anybody on their word anymore. And even if I stand here and say naked to you, sorry about this. My word is my bond, and I stand here naked, pure, and honest, and open to you. You have everything disclosed. You should still go and check it out, because angelic, not that I am angelic, but worst case scenario, angelic, good, angel, light ones can be evil ones dressed up as that. Like this story: the truth and the lie went for a swim, and they went skinny dipping, and the truth and the lie were swimming and having a laugh and getting on, unusually they normally don't. It was a hot day. They'd made a compromise, a truce. They're having a skinny dip, speaking of nakedness, tedious link. And whilst they were swimming, the lie decided to get out. He needed the toilet, we'll say. It's not the story at all, but it is the story. I'm making the best, because I'm pulling it from the dark areas. And the lie gets to get out first. The truth's in the reservoir, lake, swimming, and the lie decides to get dressed in the truth's clothes. And he goes around the town, like, looking for the toilet, place to relieve himself, call of nature. And everyone's like, hey, look at you, look at Truth. Truth looks good. Look at the Truth. The Truth's looking, hey, Truth, high five to the Truth, fist bump to the Truth. Look at the Truth, looking fly, Truth. The Truth isn't the Truth, it's the lie, wearing the Truth's clothes. And nobody noticed. The lie dressed up as the Truth. When the Truth got out, he's like, what? Or she, we'll give it a she, doesn't matter. The Truth can be a she, the lie can be a he. And the Truth got out, and she's like, hey, where's my clothes? The lads took my clothes. And there you go. And the Truth got out and had to wear the lie's clothes. Everyone was like, not wanting to speak to the truth because of the, so appearances, very deceptive, all right? In this world, everything that's printed is 95% wrong. Everything that's in Hollywood and in stories and in creation and fiction is almost bang on. So, you go to the doctor and you tell him what's wrong, and he'll tell you what's wrong with, you tell him, and he'll go, oh, no. And then it turns out you might have been right 6 months later, testing on. So, I'll leave it there. I think I've made my point. Facebook, Ewok's in the house. Matt says, thank you, brother. You're welcome. That's what we do. Change the camera, why don't you, Dave? Look at that. I'm trying to get my comments. That's all. Here we go. Back that way. Thank you, Matt. You're welcome, my brother. Hi to the scribes. What's Tube saying? I'd like to know your continent, where you're at, how you are, what you're doing, anything concern to you, feedback for me, updates, contact, anything in your community you'd like to bring to me, emergencies, despair, greatness, anybody in your community, pioneering anything, setting up anything. Have you got some community resources? Have you got any helpers, trustees in the community? And would you like some? Things like that. Unruly assets, sons and daughters that are looking at guardianship because they are fighting the system. They are annoyed with school. They have got too many chemicals running around them. They may be like me when I was younger. We're looking at that option as well, and doing some of the health and wealth, going mobile, some kind of road show. Max and Paddy, you know, Dave, maybe Smithy if he's up for it, or somebody, all of us, anyone. The a.r.c, wow, which is the Artful Remedy Club, will be on the road. You know, the self-initiate a.r.c. I'm going with the flow. We do what we do when we do it. So if there's no urgency, Alan's happy, Molly's happy, Matt's happy, is Africa, is Bulgaria, is wherever you are happy. If you've got any questions, any updates, I'm finding this remarkably easy. I've gone across 2 platforms now, and I'm still, looking for. Bless you all. Much love. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the ones that have come across to the trust@the.com and that are seeing the light, the technology. I have had to go somewhat further to the end of the line to show you some rather complicated scenarios. You'll have seen my last weekend's videos about secret trusts and various topics there. If you haven't already looked at Indy's videos from this weekend, I would suggest you frequent them. I've posted them in all the relevant places, and then give me your comments, questions and feedback. Once I've finished holding the hands with this king and queen that have some property that is charge free, that might want to look at safeguarding it for the future lineage of their blood, charge free property is stood, titles and deeds available. So we've just got to look at going through the process, getting it double checked, and then this document is 105 pages long with the living trust, which is revocable, standard for the living, because that's what you do when you're alive. You might want to change it and whatever till the time of passing. So we've got private agreement trust in there as well. I will edit this document, given the feedback from these brothers, well, brother and sister, king and queen, that have got a castle they want to protect. There is a remuneration amount for this, for the trust, because I haven't found a benefactor, and we've got 600 and something souls, self-initiates, out of the 10,000 I I hoped for, prayed for in the first year. So as with anything in life, if you go out there and you require some freelance or some work or some commissioning or some protection, there will be a requirement of, in this realm, as it is, the promises, you know, that we have, promises. So when I say that, if you need protection and you're under threat, we will look at helping, as always, and giving for free. If you had some property to protect and you wasn't in a good place and you wanted to be a testator and lock it down in a last will and testament, in an irrevocable type trust, private, and once it's done, then you could do that and I'd give it you for free. And all I'd ask is that you write something to the trust in your will. So it's not all about money at all. I am on my arse. I am wanting to keep private. I haven't had any liquidity since May. I'm not the only one. I have a roof. I have a loving queen. I have a lot of big friends and family. I'm very fortunate, and I count my blessings and I give love and thanks for that, because I see others that are, wow, I'm sorry. So I'm not here with the harp, but, we're moving fast and we're very strong. So, there's a great need here, and we are looking for remuneration and compensation. And if you haven't got it to give, then it doesn't matter. We'll find a way and we'll do it pro bono, unlike the Temple BAR. Go to a high street solicitor and say, will you do me a lay-on? Can I have some tick? All right? Give you any credit with my promises, even though we're paying in promises. Well, we're discharging the charges with the promises to pay from the private banks. They'll say no. You might get some. So with that, all right, for Facebook and all the ones out there, yeah, money. Well, I'm sorry, we live in a monetary realm, and without it, you die until you find out the technologies and the ways and the discharge and the true compelling of the dispelling. So we would ask that you appreciate, all right, and you can go out there and find out and get some prices on what and training and courses and everything. So it's the best I can do, and I think it's reasonable. And if you're protecting property up to 100, 200, a quarter of a mil assets and whatnot, all I ask is that you give a gift of some kind to the trust in your will. Those that can afford, you can help us now. And like I say, wait till I've got the feedback, till it's all been triply checked, and this 105-page second tier, the 101 grading key competence is over. We're now moving to, from the bronze level to the silver, and then from the silver to the gold, and we'll finish the gold course by the end of next year. All your competence guide, Masters Guild, documents, publications, training, certificates, grading tools will all be there. We'll give them away in the community. You'll send them out through the post. You can email. All the options are there. The clean hands doctrine has been followed. Trust me. I'm not going to stand here and try and promote this confusing technology and not oblige the maxims and the rules of equity, because if you don't, you're in the hottest water you could be in, and there's no way out. So that's what you're playing with. Back to the comments. Thank you for that. Thanks for hearing me out. All right, I will go and submit my legal person and suck it up in the seas of commerce and have a battle, but I don't know how long I can last. I don't seem to be able to hold a job down long. Everything annoys me. It goes against my morals, my principles. You've got the sinness, you've got the jumped up. It's just a horrible sacrifice that we give. And I'm now conscientiously objecting with a loving, intelligent way through the a.r.c. Okay, and I suggest you have a think about these. Yes, I know, Nonna, I got the text. It's okay, chicken. It's my fault for not going on airplane mode, but thank you. Thank you, John. Jeremy Corbyn, minimum wage, £10 an hour, certificates. Yes, I hear that. Nonna saying hello. Vendetta says is in process of trying to obtain the security guard's last name for battery, as well as trading on his rights, sovereignty. They won't give it me. It's for my affidavit. Do him in the private there. All right, blocking, prosecute in the private. Yes, you do a DSAR, data subject access request to that corporate entity that's obligated to provide you upon the request, and they will satisfy that. If they don't satisfy that request, you go with them with a notice of non-compliance, and then to the relevant managing authority above them, independent ombuds. Watch and inform, and they will receive a fine for non-compliance. Vendetta. That's how we do that. Enforcement side. Eric says, as an aside, good time to purchase silver and gold while its value has dropped a little. Eric noted, if you have fiat currency and you have 50, 60, if you're lucky to have liquid capital reserves and so forth, and if the economy interest rates do change and things start to get more expensive, then it will become less and less. Credits collapse, petrodollar, dollars. Yes, I hear what you're saying. Why have paper in a bank? If you look at deposits and repositories and how they're looked at, when you give a bank money, is it a deposit or is it theirs, and can they take it and do what they want? I'm not telling you anything. I'm saying that we have found information, and I think you might need to look at it, at who owns what and what rights are what and what is. Like example would be, I put £1,000 in a bank, and a month later I take the £1,000 back out. That £1,000 I take back out will all be different serial numbers to the £1,000 notes that I put in the beginning of the month. Whereas other banks, if you put £1,000 in, those serial numbers are recorded and looked at, those debt notes of those promises, and when you withdraw that £1,000 a month later, you get those exact same notes out. Now that's what I'm talking about. I'll leave it there. So well said, Eric. Why would you have paper and hope and wishes and dreams, hopes and prayers, when you could have something with intrinsic, medicinal, solid value? I hear what you're saying. It makes sense. You think sharp. Breaking has got, what are your thoughts on returning the birth certificate bond to the registrar? Is that the first steps in correcting the status? Thank you, Barking. I watched a tube video by Mark Sincer which suggests this. I'm not giving any legal advice here. You've asked a question and I'll answer a question as a brother, as I'm allowed to do. Right, that's a great question. Some others have returned the bond, the certificate, the equitable asset. All right, the equitable instrument, should I say, the signature would be the equitable asset, and the equitable instrument would be the birth certificate that protects you and gives you protection as a baby, child, minor, under God, creator of this Christian nation, and then you get to 18 and you become fully liable. That certificate is an instrument, it's a conveyance. I would not, in my opinion, and I have not handed in my person on the certificate. It is bonded, it has a watermark. You are the title deed holder of that certificate, and it can be used to be a person and a beneficiary if should it need to be. So if you don't have that, then that option isn't there. And if you do get rid of it, you would need provisions for alternatives. And if you don't have those provisions and you get rid of that, you're in a hot pickle, to put it nicely. And if you keep that and you think you are it, you're in a hot pickle because you're putting on the persona, and we don't do that anymore. So, I'll leave it there. Barking, answer me, did that help? John is coming back with dead and living comments. Yes, I dead. Somebody's Alan can't work due to stress and anxiety, not unless the company's held accountable for the laws they broke and how I was treated. So you've got mitigation for work-based scenarios there, in my opinion. All right, mitigation has led to stress and anxiety. They have a duty of care. There are rights and things in place. If they have been breached, they need to be held accountable for breaching of these are public statutory, but also because you're the man. All right, we go equity and the maximum of equity. Those that go first in time are first in line. Your person hasn't been harmed. Your person's all very well and good, Al, but you, the man, have been harmed. You are seeking damages. You may have had torts, trespasses, breaches. So to some extent, you start public, you meet them out, and then you'd move it through the lawful dexterity of equity and the way, the wording, the positioning, status, capacity, and then you'd look at your damages there. Wow, okay, thank you for that. I'll keep it, as you've said. You've got busyness on the tube. I'm coming back to you, Facebook, so if you've got any comments or a question, I'm going to answer it momentarily. We are 45 minutes in and picking up the pace. Yeah. Okay, got that. See that, Quinn? I like that. We'll expand on that later. Gifts, yes, John. Gifts are good. All right. Adopters, if you've adopted one, a son or daughter, an asset out there, a soul, then big up on you. Thank you, much love from all of the fam. Adoption, again, national management of unwanted, whatever, I'm sorry to put it like this, assets, sons and daughters. We could do a Bernardo's privately and look after this in a much more efficient and beneficial way and educate them at the same time. So well done for adopting. I'm up to speed with the YouTube. Let me get onto Facebook here and look at your comments in the actual chat. 1 minute. Let's do it a different way. If I remember. If it hasn't changed. Gotcha. I went to the notary. Here we go. Gotcha. I've got a Bulgarian comment I want to read. Just let me load it up. Back onto the book of. There we go. Nice one. Langston, we've done that. We've got you. Ewoks in. Hello. Alexander. I went to the notary. They are jurists in Bulgaria last month in order to record an affidavit confirming one's zygote as the singular historical culture and scientific matter of the fact, proving one's personal, private and confidential property, paramount equity. And what happened was, after many years of mutual respect between us, when the notary saw the affidavit, started to act furious and said that this is total bull and asked me to leave immediately her office. What? Wow, Bulgaria. Alexander, thank you. That is interesting. So you've gone, what did you go to? You are aware of the public notary and the notary public, all right? So you've said you've gone to a notary, so we need to know, all right, which notary did you go to? Because it depends, you see, and that may be why you've had that reaction. So as we've said, public notary and notary public, There you go. If you look at affidavit, but it hasn't got an R in it, but it's normally pronounced affidavit in the English provinces around here. What, you know. Um, wow. So that is one of the uncontested and unrebutted. It is at the top of the instruments of law. It is the choice, the weapon of choice. If it was a weapon, it would be a Moab. It's not, but it's not even violent, remotely bloodshedding, but to the effect it can do and the damaging. It's a very, very, very powerful tool, and done right, executed as a, and authorised, thumbprint, and validated, irrefutable. Yeah, well said. So thank you for that. And that may be why I can't see in the past or across continents, but as far as I can see, you may have gone to a different type, Alexander. And if anybody does ever say that to you, they are insulting you. They've got rude. They've broken their duty of care. Here we have the United Kingdom, a contract law policy. We have ethics and codes and morals. So if anybody is rude, obstreperous, shouts, aggressive, we have rules here. All you've got to do is look at somebody wrong here in a job centre and you get thrown out. You've only got to fart wrong. Pardon me for the obscenity, ladies, but you know how it is. It's PC gone mad, but yet on the street everybody's dying. In the public offices where they work, you can't look at somebody wrong without having the book thrown at you and being marked as a violent whatever. And so just be careful. And going back to what you said, I need to know I don't know what zygote is. Anybody give me a zygote? That's a word I've never seen. It's a wow, I found another word that I can't even say. EUKARYOTIC. Aortic cell formed by a fertilizer. What? Oh no, cell. It's a cell. What is a? Let me put law and legal. I'll put legal, even though. Just let me. Sort of my legal definition. There we go. I've got it here. Legal disputes of I'm on the dictionary.com. Something to do with giving birth. Hang on, it doesn't say the actual word itself. It's all about birth. I don't like the look of this. 1 minute. Medical dictionary. So that's the legal definition of the word. I'm confused there, Bulgaria. But I'm easily confused, so don't worry, don't take offence. We'll move on. Singular historical cultural and scientific matter of fact, proving one's personal, private and confidential property, paramount equity. We have different ways of doing that, and that's a lot of words, a lot of big words, and it means, a bit like Vienna, it means nothing to me. The words I understand, the documentation and title and action in and at law, I'm not sure. We can give you ideas of how to claim and prove you are who you are and what's what. That seems rather complicated, and I've got lost immediately, so I'd need further information on that. Alex, my man. I'm going to go back to Tube. I believe I've caught up on the Book of Faces. Please give this a share. I'd like you to share with everybody in your family that you think may benefit by joining this a.r.c. and its trust. Yeah, you are welcome to invite them to ask me questions, and I will give you information. I am eager to promote where we're at and what we're doing, and I'm eager to show you and bounce back now, albeit rudimentary, across 2 platforms with the sign stuck up here. But now it's 1 o'clock. I have some duties to do myself. Emails are answered. Keep them flowing. You would email David at splspro.com. It is there on the screen. Please invite your loved ones and family. Go out in the street. Have a word with that neighbour that you chat to. If you're a dog walker, all right, I know what you guys do because I used to be one, and I love them. You give a nod, you chat, you are very sociable, you love animals, that's a winner already for me. You're in the race of human, I'm at ease here, you're men, womb men, whatever, animal lovers, winner, we're halfway there. So you care, you love animals, you are out and about, you're sociable, you've got a lot going for you, dog walkers, even though you get slagged off for the poos everywhere and the black bags hanging from trees, and you know, it's a shambles. When you look about, you think, who are we? Who does this? Who? You know, I catch somebody doing that, I will stop and talk to them. You know, I get in trouble. Anne-Marie hates it. You know, common law officer. I'm not a common law officer. I'm a man abiding by equitable means and terms and realms, and we abide by equitable measures. And he who seeks equity must do equity, you know, and the realm is ours. We're trustees of it. It's each and every one of us, not common law sheriff officers. You're a trustee of the realm, you're a beneficiary of the realm. You know, we'll show you. It's not just these positions, you hold many at once. You know, you can be a dad, a mum. You know, you're a trustee. You've sired some assets, some property, sons and daughters. You've got legal, lawful, even responsibilities. You've got work responsibilities. You've got home owner responsibilities. You've got saver, bank, financial responsibilities. You've got legal, lawful, you know, financial, religious. So you're many things at once simultaneously. You just flip the office name and position. You see, so. Here we are. I don't know what you think about that, but that's what I think about it. It is on like Donkey Kong, all right? And if you are under threat, fearful, needing anything, let us know. You went to a second notary and she said that she cannot seal this because if everybody do this, the system will fail. But she has a duty and an obligation. It doesn't matter that, right, so they're licensed and you're proving to us then, you're giving us first-hand knowledge and testamentary information. Thank you, Bulgaria. We love you. The family, the a.r.c is strong. And they are disclaiming their duties. You may have gone to a public notary instead of a notary public, all right? So I'd like you to check and go online and look at the differences in these notaries. Now, as with UCC and Admiralty, you know, uniform commercial codes and the C's stretch out all around the realm. These courts, they have universal canons, you know, Admiralty, Maritime, uniform commercial. They're interchangeable across all the realms. It's just because you're in Bulgaria, the rules haven't changed there. The systems and processes and codes might have, but overall, the governance, you know, is in equity would be the same. You know, it's like having a Bible that's different in every continent because it's on a different continent. It has different rules, much like the Pope when he got all his men in. And he says, now then, and he had an intervention. It wasn't an intervention, but last year, about a year ago, he got all his bishops and whatnot in, and he kicked their asses. And it was about molestation of minors, and the answers given from the priests to the France Pope was, listen, in the countries that we're clergymen and priests and whatnot in, you know, the age limit is 12, so we can do this legally at 12. And the Pope's turned around, probably one of the only good things I've heard in the recent times, and said, it doesn't matter what the age of consent is in these countries, and if it's 12, he said, what does God say? He says, thou shall, and he gives you a time and a date and a reference, yes? So why have you ignored God's rules? And you just because you're on a different continent and you think that they apply. Oh yes, well, what's good now? You see, no, that's it. So just remember that, all right? They're universal, and I know, and we can prove, and they are, and you know, case law would strengthen that also. There are differences, as we've told you. That's why we have trouble translating from America back to here. Words, verbiages, definitions, meanings, rights, bills, constitutions, banking constitutions, you know, federal constitutions in themselves, and other such. But there you go. Alexander, you got a job there from me to you. Back to Tube, and then we are closing down. Facebook, we're done. I'm going to say ciao bello, much love. It says there's 2 scribes on compared to my 15 on there. You know, I don't know what's happened, but give it a share. Splspro, Facebook, we're saying love, like, goodbye, ciao for now, and thank you very much, all right? I love you. See you soon. Finishing the cast. Back to Tube. Sorry about the narrating. It's only because you can't see me, I feel that I need to somewhat narrate to get you in the picture. Right, back to Tube. What we're doing here, I'm catching up, just rolling up, all right. I think it was Quinn and adoption I got to, yeah, I did, here we go. Do you know your marriage is classed as a bond money pass? Yes, Mr. and Mrs. We do indeed, John. Church are coining it. Wow. If this does not happen, then I will never have the confidence in working for an employer, as they have the right to walk over their staff and not to be held accountable. Yes, Alan, I hear what you're saying. Agreed. That's why we have laws. You have to enforce them. Um, yes, John, agreed. Canons. Quinn, my queen, adopted a year ago. After the hearing, the judge told us we could change his given name even if we wished to. Yeah, we couldn't. We could. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you can. That's good. We should be donating as initiate self-governing sovereigns and paying as a slave. Yeah, that's right. We donate. I donate my time. Others donate their time. Charities donate their time. Look at Oxfam, registered charity. What did that get caught up in? I was nearly sick when I heard about that. I went, you what? You what? The most weak and vulnerable members of the family on the planet have just been taken advantage of by a registered limited charity. Bob Geldof, give us your money. Live Aid, give us your money. What? They're still starving now, Bob. Where? Mandela, Africa, everything. It's just no. I will not associate with that. It's yeah. Well said. Vendetta. I like that. Concurred, sustained, agreed, and that's what we do. That is exactly it. All right, thank you. Catching up, breaking mad. It makes sense that is a clear benefit in remaining party to the trust, but the concern I have is in holding the bond. It may be better to return the bond and express the trust. It may be better. You tell me. You tell me. That's what we're on the cusp of right now. So, as I've said, much like Aeon Flux, getting to the point of the objective and then having a flashback and yeah, that's all we're doing here. Just you can do whatever you want, and it may be indeed um, having the correct expressing. Until we get to that point, there is no fear and no danger, because once you correct it and express it, you go back to the correct position in that. As you are the title deed holder at present of that certificate, yes, of a record of an event. People are not registered. Events are registered, and that registration, no persons or mans, mans should I say, are registered. Persons aren't registered. Events are registered. And much like JC there and the Crusade Fiction, that was a massive event for man to look at as well. All right. But yeah, thank you, Breaking Mad. Simon says affidavits are the boss. Easy, brother. Birmingham's online. Affidavit of truth and of truth. Affidavit of identity. Affidavit of revocation of signatures as authorised signatory for the artificial. Oh, I like that. I got something similar to that on the .com, my man. Resigning from office is what they do in the public. Look at the Grenfell Chief Exec Council, whatnot. When the proverbial brown stuff hits the fan, they resign and step out of office. Indeed, revocation, revelation. Eric's, thank you. Yeah, well done, Eric. He hadn't been registered. They had no legal hold over them. They pooed their pants when they threw that. Eric, beautiful music to my ears. Be careful what you release on the public chat, but thank you for that. That's I'd like to speak about that privately, actually. John used to be a dog walker. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Yes, have a chat, get together, start saying, hey, oh, you're the ones to start it. I'm telling you. Notaries becoming gatekeepers. If you go to the wrong one, yes, and if you don't know how to ask them and get them to, then there may be issues. And if they refuse, you'd ask them why. If they say, they're not going to witness a signature, you'd ask them what the issue is. Statements of truth and instruments of law are not their concern. And if they are going to renounce that, then you'd need to know where they'd get the source and the claim from. Otherwise, they're in bed of. TM. Okay, I'll have a look at that. No problem. I've turned all my notifications off on apps because I get distracted, so I go and check them manually. I will have a look at that. Thank you. folk like Oprah who could buy a country, asking the poor for money to give to themselves. Sickening, absolutely sickening, Quinn. Yeah, the gold in the Vatican, because we've been bonded and put into this deceptive way. It's our own ignorant fault, apparently. No, we don't concur on that. Yeah, I'll ring you later. Nick. Nick is Eric. Eric is Nick. Ah, okay. Penny drop. Yeah, I'll ring you next. We'll meet up and have a chat. I need to say much love and wishes to brother Stephen in Bradford and all the family there. If you're catching up, you may be rather busy now. I'll leave it at that. It's private, but brother Steve, anybody that knows him up that way to the Bradford fam, lots of luck. Let me know how it goes. And Nick, Eric, Nick, you just reminded me of that because of Sheffield. I need to see Matthew. I want to come and see you. Look at having a chat, and I would like to go and see brother Steve and Pete, the fam up that way in Bradford. So we've got Sheffield, your place, Nick, which I'll keep private, yeah, and Bradford. So to the fam up north, yeah. Love, like, let me know what go on. We'll call it a day. Give us a thumb up and a share if you've enjoyed, if I've brought a smile to your face, if you wouldn't mind putting it places, letting the fam know that we have a new format to you 15. All right, 7 thumbs up, not done bad, I suppose. Much love and light. We'll see you later. Ciao bello.